Hi, welcome back to Larry's Computer Class. Now we're going to talk about tables and the different types of tables. We're going to talk about three different types today. A UL table, which is an unordered list, an OL table, which is an ordered list, and a DL table, which is a definition list. The first thing we're going to do, we'll move these down a little bit here. We're going to start with a UL table. UL table means, let's do this. UL table equals unordered list. And the way we do these tables, there's two different types of tables you can use. Unordered list, you would do UL to start. Then underneath you would do, actually let's do this, UL type equals circle. The two types for this are circles and squares. And then you would do LI and then this we can just do orange and LI red. And then you just end UL. And then if we save this, hit refresh, and there you go, UL equals, that's your P for paragraph. Now we have circles, orange and red. You can also, I believe, do a title in here if you want. Let's try the other one. The other one for UL would be UL type equals square. Now the other thing about these tables, some people will tell you you don't have to use your end tags on these until the end. Like some people will tell you that this is okay to do. With just your end tag at the end, where you have these three. 99% of the time it will probably work okay. Now see here you have your squares, okay, and it displays it okay. 99% of the time it will display it okay, but it's not recommended that you do that. I don't recommend you do that. I don't do it that way. I put my LI tags and the end tags for each one. It's just better off. Some browsers won't function right if you don't do it that way. And farther on down the road, when you get into a little higher tech web pages, little fancier web pages, right now we're just using basic HTML. And in your headers you're going to have different types of HTML over the years. There's HTML1, HTML2, I think, HTML 4.01, and then you get into the newer style web pages that people are using. We have XHTML, HTML5, and XHTML5. When you start getting into the higher end web pages, when you start getting a little fancier and doing bigger designs and using style sheets and stuff like that, you're going to have to put end tags in, or your web page won't validate, which means you can go to what they call W3C School, which is a school that is working with web pages and designers and creators and stuff like that to make a more standard code so that everybody uses a more standard code. And they're also working with the web browsers, with Internet Explorer, with Microsoft, Firefox, Google Chrome. They're working with all these different companies to have a more compatible system so that the browsers work more reliable together. Right now there's a lot of browser incompatibility problems, whereas you put in a code in Firefox, it works fine, then you go to Internet Explorer and it doesn't work fine, or it looks different. They're trying to make web pages more compatible. So W3C School is working with the browsers and trying to come up with a more realistic, compatible codes. So later on down the road, when you get your web page online, and then if you're using, say, HTML2, which is kind of what we're using here, say 5 years from now HTML2 is obsolete, they're not allowing it anymore, you have to go to HTML 4.01, and that's going to require your end tag. So you're better off to just do it now, start it the right way, put your end tags in, even if people tell you you don't need them. And then down here we could just do our end tags, UL, and that's it. UL tags, very simple. Nothing's going to change here, but you can UL tags unordered list, you can use circles, and you can use squares. When you get into using your style sheets, whether you put them in your header, or whether you have an external style sheet, which is where you're going to be going, you'll have to learn how to do external style sheets, and I do have a video on external style sheets and internal style sheets that you can watch. That's the way everything is going to nowadays. A lot of this stuff is changing. All these codes that we're putting in here, the center, the font, colors, not the paragraph. What else? That can stay. That can stay. This stuff can stay, but your center tags, your font sizes, your colors, stuff like that, aren't going to be allowed on this page, on your markup page. This is your main markup page, and these codes are not going to be allowed on this page. They're going to have to be done in an external style sheet, and that's a whole nother video, but I do have videos on that you can watch. But just to show you the basics on some of the codes that you can use, I'm just showing you these codes because these codes you can use in your style sheet. It's just another page, a different page that you're going to have to create. But you still use the same codes. It's a little different writing. Instead of it being font size equals like this, your style sheet, you're just going to put in font size colon, say 4 pixels, and a semicolon. It's the same codes, it's just a couple different tags that you put in there. Font size equals 4. But that's in the future. You can work your way up to it from there. Alright, now to move on here, let me just make sure I save this. Now we're going to do OL. Do P, OL tags equal ordered list. And B. Oops. And your ordered list, you have a few more options. You can do a little bit more with. Your ordered list for types, you can do ordered list type, and we can do the type equals I end type. And when you do the I, I'll show you the different ones that you have for choices. You can do LI colors. We'll stick with colors and LI. You can do OL. Red and OL. And OL. Now your I, what that's going to do, your capital I, when you come to your web page, what you see here is capital I, Roman numerals. So you could do colors red, and then you could do NOL, OL. I don't know if you have to put the type in again. Let's try it without the type. You can do this is LI. OL. And shapes. No. Sorry, LI. Shapes. OL. Squares. Circles. Just make sure this works okay. We didn't, so we have to put that in there every time. OL. OL. And there we go. So we have red, green, shapes, stuff like that, your eyes. You can also go, and I'll just tell you which ones are available. You can change this I to capital A. And that makes this an A. The other choices you have, I'll just put this back to I so you can see. The other choices you have, let me just get rid of this one for a minute. The other choices you have, just copy this. How many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5. So 1, 2, 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we got I, capital A, small a, small I, and 1. There you go. No, why didn't that work right? Here we go. Now it's working. Okay. Here we go. We got I, small I, and 1. And then now you can continue down. If you wanted a 2, you will just simply come to here. Just copy it just to speed things up a little bit so I don't have to write the code over and over again. Paste. And you would just put a 2 in here. And then you could change this to shapes, circle, and square. Refresh. I don't know why that didn't say 2. But you get the idea of what we're working on here. The other table that we have is a DL. A DL equals definition list. And it's kind of the same. It doesn't have any of the tags. It's just writing. You're not going to have any circles or squares or numbers or anything like that with a DL tag. DL tags are going to be more for if you're writing paragraphs with headers. Like say you want to put in, let's do DL. You would put in DT. Let's see, what can we write about? Let's say DT class 1. And you can do DD class 1 will cover my HTML tags and tables, including UL, OL, and DL tables. And DD, DT, class 2, DD, class 2 will cover CSS internal and external style sheets. And DD, DT, Class 3. Class 3 will cover web page designing with internal and external style sheets. And that way, what happens is you can write some nice little paragraphs and it automatically indents things for you. There you go, Classroom 1. Classes will be Classroom 2. And you can just talk, you could talk about anything. You could put in here shoes. Describe the type of shoes and the brand names. You can go to coats. Type in different coats you have, different styles you have, fur coats, raincoats, anything like that. Class 3, you could put in Title 3, anything you want. The other thing you can do, if you want to do a little styling here, Class 1, you can do capital letters, and you can do H2, and that's something I didn't cover in the last video. And your H tags is H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. H1 is the biggest, H6 is the smallest. So if we do H1 and H1, we can do H2, Class 2, and H2. And we can do H3, Class 3, and H3. And also on these you can put in, there's another tag that you can use, and that's the U tag, underline tag. I'm going to change this because a very important thing you have to remember when you're doing these tags, you want them in order. Whatever's first, second, third, you want them in reverse order. 3, 2, 1. So the H1 tag that's in at the end, you want it at the beginning because you want your H1 tags in your U tags, which are in your DT tags. So you have to make sure that you go 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. That's very important. You'll run into problems later down the road if you don't do it this way. Web page like this that we're doing, it's not going to bother anything, but like I said earlier, if you get into, when you get into the newer style web pages, you will have a problem if these are not in order. So H3, H3, U, U, DT, DT. So what we did is we put H3, we put a font size. You can also use font size like we did before, font size equals 3, 4, whatever you want. You can use your H tags. And then when we refresh, there you go. You'll see the difference in sizes. H1 is very big. That's for your headers, your main header on the top of your web page. Class 2, H2 tags, a little smaller. Class 3, H3 tags, a little smaller. And they all have the underline on them. So there you go. That covers your DL tags. Very, very simple to use DL tags. And that about covers our class for today. Our tables, very simple. Any questions, please feel free. You can email me. Click on contact me, send me an email if you have any questions, any tags that you don't know about, or something you want a tag for that you don't know about. You can also click on forum at the top of the page, and you can go to my forum. You can post your code if you're having a problem with something that's not working right. You can post your code on the forum. I can look at your code and walk you through it, guide you through it, show you any errors, or maybe just a different way of doing things like that. But thanks again for visiting Larry's computer class, and I'll see you in the next video.